we will begin our Coaches Check-In series with head men's basketball coach Mo Williams. Now, Coach, it was your first season under the helm as the head coach of the men's basketball program. Now, what were some of your highlights of the season?
Yeah, I think the first highlight, Sorrel, is beating a Division One team. It's never easy, and with very limited time to prepare, being new, not really knowing much about your team, to be able to go out there and our main thing in that game was just to compete as hard as we could, and to be able to come up on top for us was a great start to the year. I think another one that was huge was just when we went to Ohio, we played in the Great Lakes Invitational. We beat Marietta, who's number 6 in the country. So that was a highlight as well. And then just to take away from the winning and losing, the thing about year ones, and I just learned a lot from this and worked for some fantastic guys that have been doing this way longer than me. It's about laying down your culture. And everybody talks about culture, but, what we talk about and what it means to us is what's normal. So we had to create a new normal, which has been very different for some of these guys, so being some of these guys' third head coach in their career, being some of these guys' third head coach in over a year, that's a lot. So, just seeing the daily improvement of the structure being built is something, overall is something I was proud of. I think a lot of our growth would not be shown on the scoreboard, and that sounds cliche, but, I'm really excited about, what we built and established this year and how guys had to really grow into some roles that they never had to yet.
Now, you were talking about your culture and your team identity. What is your team identity?
Yeah, I think at the end of the day, every single day we're just trying to get better. And again, I hate to sound cliche as well, but we really focus on that in all the areas of your life. So academically, athletically, socially, and spiritually. So just trying to pour into the guys every single day in those areas. And that's what our program's about. We do a bunch of things outside of basketball to pour into them. And then when we're on the court, we love to compete. It's something we had to really build towards. And as we got through the year, it started to get better. And I think the guys are still learning what that means, from a standard of what I want. But that's really who we are. That's our culture, is those things and just developing them holistically.
I've talked to you in the past about your program pillars. Now, for some people that may not know, what are your program pillars?
Yeah, the first is faith. So, faith to us means believing in something that you can't see. I think the obvious one for us is a national championship. So that's a very long, far ahead, goal that we're striving for. But, you have to believe in something you can't see in order to get there. And then, just telling our guys, what do you need to have faith in your life? So there's certain guys in our program that might be the first person in their family to graduate, from college. So that's something that we like to put in front of them that they're striving for. The next one is discipline. So this one is a huge one. This is something we really, hit them upside the head with. It's the hardest one to get. It takes time. It takes buy-in. I can't tell you that we're completely there yet, but we took some strides. But, really being able to do the right thing over and over and over again when you don't feel like it. And that's something we constantly talk about, and it means a lot in a lot of different ways. The next one's family. So family for us is forget about me, I love you. And, every team talks about being a family, but creating and establishing what a family means. And then the next one is love. Love is caring beyond yourself. So, the best teams that are successful, not just in basketball, but in sports, love each other. So that also takes some time, but that's something we really spent some time with this year. Then the last thing is attitude. The game of basketball, just like life, there are things you can't control. It's up and down. It's exciting when it's going your way, and then it can be very hard when it's not. But teaching our guys that you only can control what you can. So focus on what you can control and block out what you can't. So those are our core values. You walk into my office, you see that. Whenever this whole thing, comes down, recruits will see that. And then in our locker room, you'll see that. And then, this year we did a bunch of, we call them character sessions, where I had not just myself talking about them. We want to be player led. So the players were presenting these to the team and just talking about what they meant to them individually.
When you're on the road recruiting, what are you looking for in a potential student athlete?
Yeah, the first thing is high character, and that has nothing to do with basketball. It's all about you as a teammate. So whenever we're evaluating something, I tell my staff is make sure we're watching how they are when they're not in the game. So that's something that's huge. The bench is very important, to us. And it says a lot about your team. Our guys engaged, they love each other, all those core values I told you. So that's the first thing we look for. The second thing is a competitor. Does he hate to win? I mean, does he hate to lose, love to win? The third thing is skilled. So there's some things that we really focus on offensively and defensively that translate to us, and so we look for those things. The fourth thing is tough. So this one is, defined just strictly by how you respond to adversity. It has nothing to do with how big your arms are, or, puffing your chest out, punching yourself in the face, but how do you respond to adversity? The fifth thing is gym rat. You got to love playing basketball. I've never talked to a kid that didn't say he loved it. So, it's what are your habits? Do you love to get better? And at this level, we just have such limited time with these guys. So a lot of these things are player led. A lot of it it's coming intrinsically. So you have to love the process of getting better and being coached. And then the sixth thing is a great student. So maximizing yourself in that area. And, I want guys truly knowing what they want to study and getting experience in that while they're here as well.
Coach, you have year one under your belt. Now, what are some of the things you're going to do in that transition time from year one to year two?
It's just, it creates a sense of normal for the guys. It's funny. I was talking with one of them yesterday on one of these calls, and he just said, Coach, it just feels good to have something normal again. We know what you want. We know what's to expect. We know what we're striving for. We know what we're trying to do offensively. So, that's what successful programs have. It's hard to come in year one and just boom, it happens. Great programs have cultural sustainability. So you have a coach there that's been there for years. You look at the successful programs we have. Look at how long the head coach has been there and has done their thing and their core values and their philosophy. So, it's huge, and it's just something we try to every single day get better at it. And I think it's just good, for the kids. They really feel excited about the direction of where we're going. And that's the hard part about coaching changes. Everybody's excited about them. Everybody thinks based off of personnel, success is going to happen, but it really takes time. And, I'm excited about the direction that we're going. And the guys understand, truly what we want.
So, switching gears, about this time of COVID-19, staying at home, how are you and your program staying connected?
So this was something for us during the year that I had learned we needed to get better. And it goes back to what I was saying earlier, just so much turnover we've had, not just in the recent 3 to 5 years, but you go back even, a 10-year span, of the different leadership here. So, this was something that I learned, and I thought we were pretty good at it. But as I started to spend time with the guys outside of off the season, and we had our end of the year meetings, I realized that we haven't really been as close as a team as we wanted to be. And, again, as a coach, as a leader, our job is to make those core values and anything we have on the wall come to life. So, it's a challenge because we're physically not able to be together, and that's an area we need to get better at. But something we do every week is we get on here on Zoom and, we talk about academics, so making sure guys are staying tight in those areas, and then just spend time with each other. How's your day going? How are you doing? It gives them a time to be able to catch up on, hey, I made 200 free throws earlier today. How many did you make? But just it's one of my favorite parts of the week, because just seeing the pure joy on their faces of being able to see a teammate that they haven't seen since this pandemic has started. It's really been good, and it's something we do. Um, Also we have a team group chat that we're on pretty heavy, so it involves me and our team. And I might see something on TV that I thought was funny, and I send a picture of it and say, "Hey, this looks like you," and it stirs up some comedy. But just trying to be closer and more connected. And that's why family and love are part of our core values. You have to be a family, and great teams love each other. So that's what we've been focusing on. That's how we've been doing it. It's a challenge as far as doing it face to face, but we use what we can, and appreciate just being safe during this uncertain time.
Thank you for taking the time to join us, Coach.